my coach asked me a question that just turned everything upside down. She said, Darcy, if in 10 years you looked back and had no regrets, what would you do right now? And I'm like, really? That's the best question ever. I'd start my own company. I'd focus on helping people be high performing and get out of their own way. And she's like, great, make it happen.
You are now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer and author of the best-selling book, Stay the Course, Dom Brightman. And you're going to be getting some goodies today from the guest that's up next. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the GMP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, the Going North podcast, we got one heck of a super special, awesome human for you today, because this wonderful lady right here knows how to keep you fit, folks. That's right. Keep your mind fit and your body fit, because she has a gun show on her book cover from all those years that she was wrangling up platypuses that were wrangling up penguins, y'all, I'm telling you. And not only that, she's also wrestled crocodiles in Australia, and she sailed all the way to Europe and spent some time in Germany, where she learned how to box by punching endless blocks of dry ice. And on top of that, she's a master coach, master certified coach, dynamic facilitator, and inspiring motivational speaker that's worked as a director for a U.S. Senator, deputy transition director for governor, and on a national advance team for 2 U.S. presidential campaigns. And to make it even better, not butter, she also is in high demand, y'all. I'm telling you, all the weed involved. The media has named this wonderful lady right here the region's favorite executive and life coach 4 times for her work with flying penguins. So let's give it up for the one, the only, Darcy Luoma. How you doing today, Darcy?
I'm fantastic. Thank you, Dom. You're fantastic. I mean, I please don't have any fun while we're at this, right?
So what part did I get wrong about the intro?
That had to be by far the most creative and fun-loving introduction I have ever had.
Yeah. Although I admit I did hold back a little because I'm like, let me make sure I don't give her a full warning. I want to see her reaction to this. Such your theme for the year's playfulness. I'm like, all right, let me do it. Yeah, ultra way left field introduction. See how she reacts.
It is indeed playful, and I absolutely love it.
Oh my goodness. That's what I'm talking about indeed. That's what I'm talking about indeed. So my goodness. So as with all introductions, and you got this new fabulous book, Thoughtfully Fit, you're now officially into the business of immortality. So how's it feel, Darcy?
You know, it has been a long, it nearly killed me getting to this process. Writing a book is no joke, and it feels so rewarding to finally be on the other side of this journey.
Oh, yeah, you say that again. Yeah, because looking at some of your past interviews and reading some of the book, listening to some of it on audio, it's like, oh, wow, all righty. It's like you think you pick them, and then out of nowhere you realize, oh, crap, this was a freaking 10-year booby trap that happened.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So my goodness. So for those who have been living under, I'd say, let's go 17 rocks, one shy of 18, 17 rocks, and don't know the real story about the wonderful Darcy. Mind filling in any cavities I may have missed about you?
I think you teed it up beautifully. Life in politics, and decided that when the U.S. Senator that I was working for retired, when he wasn't seeking re-election, that I wanted to change my career and really follow my passion. And that's when I launched my business doing coaching and consulting and speaking full time.
Ah, there we go. There we go, indeed. So my goodness, so did you ever see yourself like going into politics as like really, I think that was really like your first career once you got out of college, right?
It was. So I was certified in college to be a teacher. I was a math and German teacher. And when I graduated, I was hired by the teachers union to organize young members, young teachers age 36 and under to lobby the legislature. And so that's how my career did an immediate pivot right out of college into the political field. And then, for the next 10, 15, 20 years, I got deeper into that political field, unbeknownst to me, probably because I never had the the courage to really stand up for what I wanted, or to say no when I got a job offer. And so all of a sudden, fast forward, I'm deep into the political world, which is why when the senator that I was working for, when he announced he's going to be retiring, I hired a life coach. And there was just this assumption on my part, my colleagues, my family, my friends, that I would stay in politics. And my coach asked me a question that just turned everything upside down. She said, "Darcy, if in 10 years you looked back and had no regrets, what would you do right now?" And I'm like, really? That's the best question ever. I'd start my own company. I'd focus on helping people be high performing and get out of their own way. And she's like, great, make it happen. Well, I was the sole breadwinner for a family of four. I said, I can't do that. I need health insurance. I need a salary. I need stability. And all that inner trash talk that, happens when we start doubting ourselves. And she helped me work through that. And so I finished my job with the senator on January 2nd, 2013. And on January 3rd, I launched my full-time business.
Woohoo! That's what I'm talking about. Full-time business indeed. That's what I'm talking about. Full-time indeed. And finding that courage. And that's really kind of the big thing that stops a lot of people from really following through on their dreams, or like even just their next level, like not even their dreams, just basically taking that first step forward. So my goodness. So in addition to like a lack of, I guess I hate the word lack at this point, trying to build a abundance mentality, but for those who may be thinking like, hey, it could be like not having enough courage, or possibly using the family as an excuse, even though it's a very valid one, what do you think holds people back really from stepping, at least taking that first step to really getting closer to what they want out of life?
Mm, yes, I'd say probably at least based on the clients that I now coach and work with, there's a couple of things. One is fear, and it's depends on who you are, what's behind that fear. For some, it's fear of failure. For others, it's fear of success and making it. Fear of the unknown, fear of being uncomfortable and putting yourself into something new that you haven't done before. So I think if I had to categorize what the top obstacle is for somebody really taking a step forward, it would be fear.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That fear, that fear. Yep, that is definitely something that does not get the F word fabulous before it, because fear is not fabulous at all.
I guess it's a 4-letter F word though, isn't it?
That's true.
I won't swear in your show, Dom, I promise.
And you wouldn't be the first, so it's all good. Right? No, you're not that type of lady anyway, so it's all good. Oh my goodness, but yeah, definitely that fear indeed. So my goodness. So with basically conquering that fear, getting enough courage to really step into making that first step to embracing your dreams, or even just trying to get to that next level. You're able to get to that next level in your business and you're ICF certified. And I didn't know how hard it was until listening to one of your past interviews when apparently you have to have, if I'm not mistaken, 2 coaching sessions listened to and graded 8 out of 10 by some coaches already, if I'm not mistaken.
You did your homework. Yeah, it was, I will say, shockingly difficult to get to. So with the ICF, the International Coach Federation, has multiple levels of credentials for coaches. And so to get to that master certified coach level, it was a very high bar. It was, I worked hard to pass that exam, to get those letters. I'm proud of that.
Oh yeah, that's right. So do you think your time as a student and time in journeying all those athletes, not athletes, those triathlons helped you to really push through to get that certification?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, just the discipline and consistency and training and effort that it takes to be able to perform and compete in a triathlon. I think a lot of those skills were transferable to stay committed to the rigor of being able to pass that exam and to get those oral coaching sessions scored at an 8. You're right. They had to score at an 8 out of 10.
Ah, that's what I'm talking about indeed. That's right. Well, being a single mom of 2 girls, if I'm not mistaken, at the same time, right?
Yes, I have 2 teenage daughters now, and all the joys and challenges that come with that life stage.
That's right. The multiple personalities of Darcy now engaged, or they already have engaged, since having to be the one parent, both disciplinarian and the one to love the kids. Like, oh yeah, here's some discipline. Oh, here's some love. Oh crap, I got to give them a talk or two. Oh, they hugged me and washed the dishes without me asking. What do I do?
It's interesting you say that, because I would say that is one of the most challenging things about being a single parent, is not having, and I've got 100% full custody, not having that sounding board. Okay, I don't know how to handle this. And also not being able to tap out, right? Like, oh, done, tag, I'm out. Just having to have the resilience, the patience to stay in it, especially when I don't make the right decision in the moment, which often happens.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's definitely rough indeed. So, with all of that wonderful experience you've been gaining on the past few years in that realm, any advice for the single parents out there that may be listening right now?
Hmm. I would say the most important thing that I've learned, whether you're a single parent or a parent or a step parent or an aunt or a grandma, to be respectful, to be honest, to focus, to have compassion, and to just know that we are, as humans, flawed, and that our kids are going to screw up and we're going to screw up. And so having ready access to forgiveness and compassion and grace. Life is hard. It's hard being a parent, a single parent. It's hard being a teenager. So if you can have that compassion and then the courage to state your truth, to say, hey, I screwed up. I didn't handle that well. I was way less patient than I want to be. And I'm sorry. Are we good? And being able to have some of those tough conversations, I think is critical.
Oh yes, indeed. That's right. Compassion is critical, y'all. That's right. That's right. Because all humans are flawed, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. All of us. That's right. We may feel like we are the best in the world, even if we have 6-pack abs or 8-pack abs, or the miraculous 9-pack. And it's like, oh, still could trip and fall over your own shoelaces, even if your shoes don't have laces.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of compassion, not only basically keeping compassion in the forefront of what you do with the probably personal life and back even some parts of business, also with the wonderful sea of courage. What would probably be brain fart moment. Forgot where the heck I was even going with that.
That is just a perfect as we're talking about humans being flawed, that in that moment you just lost it. That's beautiful. You set that up, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's right. Totally set it up. Yeah. Yep. It was one of those trap doors I was telling you during the pre-recording. Yeah. Yeah, the danger zone is usually me. In my own trap. It's like Tom and Jerry. I don't even need Jerry to set off the trap. A simple, better yet, Wile E. Coyote. That's a better example.
That's a great cartoon.
Oh man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So flaws in all, flaws in all. So by goodness. So being able to trek through all of that. I hear there was 87 drafts of this fabulous book that's out now. Is that true?
There are a lot of drafts, yes. And I don't know how many drafts I did with my co-author Eliza, but then once you get a publisher, then there's copy editors and developmental editors and proofreaders and blind editors, and I mean, yeah, rack it up. It was quite the process. There were a lot of versions of it.
Ah, sweet. That's what I'm talking about indeed, because it takes the time varies for books by folks, because it's definitely a hard process. Our thing to write the book is another thing to actually market it after it's published. So my goodness, what was probably the three major lessons you learned through the whole process of finally birthing this book out into the marvelous world, doing all those drafts, then having to go through the publisher and them telling you to make some corrections on certain things? What probably the three biggest lessons that have popped out to you from that?
Ooh, boy. Okay, let me think about this. One is it's not about you. It's not about me, right? So to have a really good book, just because you have a story to tell or you have some concepts to convey, you always have to put it through the lens of the reader. I would say the process of publishing a book is grueling. So lesson learned for me, stay with it. If every time I hit a hurdle or an obstacle, I gave up, I would have made it to draft 1.5 instead of draft 87. So like, look at that long game and just know that every step of the way, whether it's finding your agent or getting a publisher or going through the process, and even as you accurately said, there's a process of writing the book, writing the proposal, getting and some people self-publish. My book was traditionally published, but there's lots of different ways to publish a book now. But then also marketing the book. And so lesson number 3, this one is maybe, I guess, personal to me. I had some different offers from agents and publishers that didn't feel like the right fit. And I took a risk, and it was scary because it's the first thing you want to do is like, oh, you want to say yes, because it's hard. And I really paid attention to my heart and to the chemistry. And so at the time I was scared. I didn't know if that was the right decision to politely decline an offer. In hindsight now, 100% the right decision, because the agent and the publisher that you work with, you are going to be working with closely a lot. And if there's not good chemistry and it doesn't feel like the right fit, keep looking until it is.
So pun intended, y'all. That's right. It's fit. That's right, y'all. I'm telling you.
Thoughtfully fit. You are so witty.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And it's kind of interesting, especially that last tip that you mentioned too, especially when it comes to the heart thing. And funny enough, with that in the long game, do you feel like there may be a sequel to this book, or this might even be a series? It might be a, I don't know, spiritually fit, then there's heartfully fit.
We're hoping that there are indeed more versions. We're working right now on a companion workbook. So Thoughtfully Fit is really about the model that I created and how it helped me through my crisis in my life. And the workbook, the companion second book, will be about helping you and others be able to work through obstacles, hurdles, crises in your own life to be able to handle yourself thoughtfully, no matter what comes your way, right? No matter what adversity or challenges that you need to overcome.
All right, cool. There we go. Workbook indeed. That's right. Folks lived in workbooks indeed. The book that makes you work, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. In this case, this is the book that'll make you work out. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. So since this is far from your first rodeo and you've been doing these gangbuster style, heck, even on your own with the Thoughtfully Fits Thursday series that you've been doing for years and been consistent with, is there a question that you wish you'd be asked more often when you're on the guest side of the game on the microphone?
Oh, that's a fun question. That one right there is kind of fun. Is there a question I would like to be asked? You know, I would say, Dom, what I wish more of, what often happens after we stop the recording for an interview is that then the podcast host will then ask the question that they'll be like, okay, so fill in the blank. How are your girls? Or right, they'll ask a question, and I always wish, I wish like that the question that's in your heart after is asked during. Does that make sense? I don't think I explained it very well, but
It makes perfect sense because you've been through a lot, and the story itself, it's still a process. Heck, even one question that came into my mind, any thoughts of in a few years from now, since I believe that was 2016 when your world got turned upside down and you basically became your own experiment for this whole thoughtfully fit process. Any thoughts of what may happen in the future? Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're about, what was it, 2021? I guess another 4, 5 years until your ex gets out of prison for what he did, sadly. So any thoughts of what may happen in the future, or is that something you put in the back of your mind and just worry about it when it comes?
I would say, I mean, I work hard to try to be present in the moment, to try to meditate, to try to not have anxiety about the future or angst about the past. Of course, I'm as flawed as everybody else. So am I good at that? No, I'm constantly reflecting on, I should have done something differently, or being worried about things that happen in the future. Having said that, I really am at a place of feeling at peace. You know, when my husband was arrested and my world turned upside down, I did become my own client to test drive this thoughtfully fit model. And ground zero, when my attorney said, don't talk to anybody about anything, my husband was arrested for sexual assault of a minor that he had met online, and the charges were severe. And so I then would have never thought, fast forward 5 years to 2021, that I would be on a podcast with the amazing Dom Brightman. I would never have thought that I'd be laughing, that my daughters would be healthy and thriving. I was really in a place of fear. And I think it is because I tried to pause when things were tough and think and ask thoughtful questions before acting, that I think I am thankfully in a place where I have peace, where I have forgiveness, as opposed to if I had just reacted impulsively in the moment when things were happening quickly and the stakes felt very high. So I don't know what the future brings, but I will say that I'm going to continue to work to lead with compassion, with courage, with love, with curiosity. I'm going to continue to try to co-parent in this bizarre way that I'm finding myself co-parenting with an ex husband who is incarcerated. My daughters love their dad, and all the research that I did about incarcerated parents said if the children are safe, if they're not at risk, it's in their best interest to have a relationship with their incarcerated parent. And I'm committed to that. So what specifically the future looks like, I don't know, but I am committed to being able to help the girls nurture that relationship with their dad. Oh, excuse me.
Ah, bless you.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Yes, indeed. I mean, someone's talking about you in a good way. Or at least that's how the joke goes when someone sneezes once or twice.
I have not heard that. That is fascinating. I heard when your ear is ringing, then somebody's talking about you. So now I got a new one.
Yeah, I think it's some kind of Eastern culture thing. I got it from like Japanese anime. It was a bad joke with this martial arts master with his student, and he sneezed. And one of the folks at the school was like, Master, you okay? You might be getting a cold. And he's like, Oh, don't worry. It's just a cute girl talking about me somewhere. And I'm like, Okay.
That's great.
That's right. That's right. Yes, indeed. So it's probably a cute guy talking about you somewhere, or someone talking about how fabulous your book is.
Hey, I would take either.
Yes, indeed. Because it looks like you've been aging in reverse with all those triathlons you've been doing. You've been doing one every year for the past 22 years, right? In spite of everything.
Yes, indeed. It's now just like a lifestyle. It's what I love.
That's right, y'all. That's right. Heck, it actually reminds me of this time, I forgot, I think some kind of social media post where this guy was talking about how he had to become the person for the book. And it's kind of like with what you're doing, it's a whole lifestyle thing, like thoughtfully fit. Like, hey, this is the chick on the cover with the gun show, with the shoulderless, the sleeveless dress on with the gun show going, and she's still actually taking care of herself, being physically fit, being the actual image of the message, actually being the author that the book needs to be. So it's really great that it's a lifestyle for you, not just like a habit or a hobby that you're just pushing off the sides like, oh God, I have to do this for the day. It's like it's embedded in you. So kudos to that.
Thank you so much. It is 100% a lifestyle, and that's where Thoughtfully Fit spun off of is this notion if you're physically fit and you train your body, every movement's easier, right? And if the elevator's out, well, it's no problem. You can take the stairs, but you have to train and practice. And so that notion that if you want your life and your relationships to be easier, you can also train and practice, that you can be thoughtfully fit if you handle yourself thoughtfully in the moment, instead of being on autopilot, instead of having a knee-jerk reaction that then creates more problems that you have to deal with and clean up later, that you can train and practice for your mind, just like you can your body.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. Yes, indeed. You're so right about that indeed. It's so true. So true. Still remember my peak performance days in the Taekwondo and the martial arts. Felt like a freaking machine, and then slacked off a bit. Oh man, it was horrible. It's so
Coming
hard.
back.
Yeah, it's just coming back. It's like, oh God, no. No, I've become an office chair potato. No.
Yeah, it's easier to keep with it than to have to start back up.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Woo. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's right. She's dropping gems, y'all. That's right. She's dropping gems, y'all. That's right. That's right. And she's got the candor to boot, y'all. That's right. Because funny enough, she used to be a people pleaser. So now she's past that now. So any advice for the people pleasers out there who need to get out of the double P action?
You're awesome. Yes, I do have some advice. No is a full sentence. If for those fans of yours who are listening, and if you're a people pleaser, I felt like if I said no to somebody or something, a request, that I was going to let them down, that they weren't going to like me, that I was a bad person. And I tell you what, in the short term, that might work fine. In the long term, it doesn't. It's not sustainable, and it just creates resentment. And so the best gift you can give if you're a people pleaser is first look at how do you please yourself, and not from a selfish standpoint, but like taking care of yourself. I now prioritize my exercise, my sleep, my nutrition, 100%. And I have then more to give than when I was putting others always first, and sleep deprived and over functioning in all my relationships. And the other thing is, saying no, you can say with compassion. You could say, I'm so grateful you thought of me for the chair of this fundraising committee. Thank you. And I'm not at a life stage right now that I can take that on, right? So you can say, if saying no is hard for a people pleaser, you could say, not now, not me, not yet, right? So you can say, at this stage right now, I can't. I'm a single mom. My daughters are not driving yet. And right. So once they are in college, yes, there'll be another time. Or not me. Oh, I'm glad you thought of me. And I can't do that right now. But you know what? I was just talking to somebody over breakfast last week who was wanting to have some more servant leadership and some more volunteer. I'd love to make a connection, or not this. I can't say yes to chairing the fundraising committee, but I'd be happy to write a check and make a donation because the mission of your organization aligns. So there are compassionate ways that you can deliver that tough, courageous no.
Powerful stuff right there. Indeed. That's right. Biggest gift you can give to yourself as a people pleaser is to let folks know it's like, hey, depending on your situation, your life stage right now doesn't allow for this to happen. Because heck, life's a stage and everybody's got to play their parts. And it's like, oh, I am not meant to play Romeo today. I'm going to be one of the townspeople and chill. That's right, y'all. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. They'll be in the background with spicy chai tea lattes all day, just chill and be like, oh, they're playing the parts over there. That's good. All right, I'm going to chill in the background right here. That's right, because I know about volunteers. And that's right, it can turn into quicksand real quick.
Yeah.
That's right, y'all. That's right. If y'all only got a tennis bracelet of wisdom from Darcy, then something wrong, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. She's leaving all the gems, y'all. I'm telling you. And the funny thing is, this ain't even 5% of it yet. So we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And that is, if you're to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but this time in the current year of 2021, with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Trust yourself. My 25-year-old self did not trust herself. And that led to giving away a lot of power to other people who have thought they knew better and had plans for me that in some cases were heartfelt, wonderful, and in other cases were not. At the end of the day, it took me a long time to be able to trust myself and also to recognize that what my passions were good enough that I didn't have to worry about doing something for somebody else because they thought it was right. I'd get a call. We have this job and we think you'd be great. Oh, they think I'd be great. Would I be great? I guess I'd be great. And then off I'd go to the next job without really paying attention and trusting my own intuition. Like, no, that's not quite where I'm headed in my career. And so it took me a couple of decades to have the courage and to give myself permission to trust myself and to say, no, I want to be a coach. I want to be a keynote speaker. I want to go in and create high performing people and teams. I want to do what is in my heart and what I'm born to do. And so if I could go back to that 25-year-old version of Darcy, that's what I would tell her.
That's right. That's right. Indeed. Trust yourself, y'all. That's right. So just imagine you falling into a group of other yous if you're playing a game of trust. You fall into the arms of some random strangers. That's right. Trust the strangers. No, stop. Maybe not all the strangers. It's a stranger danger. And you'd be like, I need an adult. Oh, wait, I'm an adult. Well, I need another adult. Oh, yeah. That's right, indeed. Solid advice, indeed. Solid advice, indeed. It's kind of funny how that works. It's like, oh, youth, the springtime of youth, all the energy in the world, and then wisdom comes in as you age, and it's like, dang it, youth can be wasted on the youth sometimes. Like, darn it.
Exactly.
Oh, man. So for those who want to leave a virtual apple on your desk along with a spicy chai tea, since you have a teaching background, that was one of your original goals at one point, what's the best way for folks to do so for the delightful Darcy and keep up with all that you're doing?
Oh, thank you so much. So I have, my website is darcyluoma.com, and you can find out about all of our services there. And if anybody's curious, Thoughtfully Fit is based around the top 6 obstacles that I found my coaching clients experienced. All of my clients, thousands of hours, I did this research and found they all come down to one of these top 6 hurdles. So thoughtfullyfit.com has a free quiz. If anybody'd like to go there and take a quiz and find out what your biggest hurdle is to being high performing and finding your own success. And then you'll get some strategies on how to overcome that hurdle.
Woohoo! That's right, folks. You'll be like an Olympic hurdle jumper, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. You'll get over those hurdles, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right, indeed. Darcy's got you covered, y'all. She's got you covered like a blanket. I'm telling you. Buy some copies of the book. Tell your friends about it. Tell your cats about it. If you know a feather cap wearing platypus, tell it about the book so it can be a thoughtfully fit platypus, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. And it's an audiobook form too, and an ebook form. And they even got the workbook coming soon too. So that's right. You can be thoughtfully fit in more ways than one. And plus, if I'm not mistaken, you got an assessment too that folks can take.
That's absolutely right. Thank you so much, Dom. It truly is my absolute privilege to have a book out there that is designed, hopefully, to help other people have new awareness and breakthroughs to overcome and become an Olympic hurdler. I love that in their own lives.
Yes, indeed. That's right. I blame the Olympics. It's like, oh, it's in my mind still. Yeah, let me throw that in there. She said hurdles. Oh, yeah, the hurdle jumping. All right. There we go.
Beautiful.
That's right. Better than bunny hops, maybe.
Yeah. Or the 3-legged sack race, whatever it is. It's all good. It's all playful.
Oh, man. So any parting words before we close up shop, Darcy?
Parting words, gratitude. Thank you for the opportunity to join you. Clearly you did your homework. It is just such a privilege to be here to share a little bit of my journey with your fans and super fans. So thank you very much.
You just got done listening to another powerful, power-packed episode of the Going North podcast. I hope you really enjoyed what you heard. Go check out the guest stuff. It's all in the show notes on the website, dombrightman.com, and also reach out to those that you've just heard as well. And keep going north.